Okay, a very good morning, Level 7A, and welcome back to our online learning program. How are you doing today? Good. I'm doing okay too, thank you. Great. So what day are we on today? Yes, that's right. Today we're on Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. Very good. Now for session 1, we're going to be covering up Writing Bright 1. For today's class, we're going to be looking at writing better sentences combining the sentences using and. But before we do that, let's do a quick lesson review on what we've done so far. Okay, so do you remember what we've done so far in our Writing Bright 1? That's right. So in our Writing Bright 1 so far, we completed exercise 5, 6, and 7 on page 52. So you remember there were 4 words. In the first one, you need to fill in the blank with proper ending with ing form of the verbs and make each sentences talks about the future and talks about the action, if it talks about the action in progress as well, right? So the 4 words such as fly, meet, move, more, and have, okay? So that was, you need to complete that. I hope you already done that. And also in exercise 6 on page 52, you have to correct the underlined mistakes. Use be or have for the missing verbs, right? Yeah. And exercise 7, find the mistakes and correct them. Okay, so there are 2 sentences, and what you need to do, the words are incorrect, but you need to correct them using the correct form. Okay, so mainly it's just focus on the future tense. What does future tense means? Right, so future tense is just basically means something that talks about the future, right? What's going to happen in the future, correct? Very good. Now let's move along to our today's class. Now for today's class, we're going to be looking at on page 53, section on writing better sentences. Today, we're going to be talking about combining the sentences using and. Now, do you remember what it means using and? Why do we need to put a sentence by using and? Right. Okay, so we use and in a sentence because we want to make the sentence better, right? Instead of writing the same double sentence or writing a longer sentence, we put and into a sentence separation so that the sentence is easier to read and more understandable, right? So for example, when we say Maria goes to the supermarket, Maria goes buy food. So you hear there's a repetition of words, but we don't need those repetition of words there. We just put the word and into the sentence. So it becomes Maria goes to the supermarket and buy food, right? So and buy food. So it makes more sense and it's easier to understand that way. Now, some people doesn't know when to use and. Again, and also can sometimes break the sentence and also sometimes combine the sentence as well. So my sister, brother, and I. So it's combining, putting it together. So instead of repeating the words over and over again, we use and. Okay. All right. Now let's have a look at exercise 1. What we need to do in this exercise here, you need to combine the sentences using and. There's an example for you. I'll save some money. I'll buy a ticket for the concert. You see here, there's 2 words. So we have 2 aisles, okay? We don't need 2 aisles in a sentence, right? So I will save some money. I will buy a ticket for the concert, okay? So instead, you can put and in there instead of a full stop. All right, so it becomes I'll save some money and buy the tickets for the concert. So in that point, you don't need to break the sentences. It's already automatically by putting an and, you're already putting the 2 sentences together. Okay, so let's do the first one together. Number 1, I'll call Melanie. I'll ask for her help. I'll call Melanie. I'll ask for her help. Now notice there are 2 aisles again. Okay, so it's the same as the first one. We do not need the same word twice. Okay, so we don't need aisle twice. So what we can say is, I'll call Melanie and I'll ask her for help. So the answer would be, I'll call Melanie and ask for her help. Okay, so I'll call Melanie and ask for her help, right? So that's the easy one. Okay, so that's exercise 1 on page 53. Now the next exercise is exercise 2 on page 53 as well, the second exercise. Again, it's the same one. Combine the sentences using and. Example, I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to watch a soccer game. Okay? Instead, you can write a better sentence combining and then it becomes, I'm going to stay at home and watch a soccer game. Okay? And watch a soccer game. Let's do the first one together. He's going to come. He's going to stay with us. He's going to come. He's going to stay with us. What would be the sentence? Well, the correct one. Well, if you add n, how would it ends up? Right, so he's going to come and stay with us. He's going to come and stay with us. So we're going to take out he's going to, and then we put he's going to come and stay with us. Okay? Right. Okay, so pretty easy. Writing bright one is just basically understanding the concept of how to write sentences or how to combine sentences. So the word combine means putting the two together, okay? Putting two sentences into one, all right? Okay, good. So all of this work will be done for your classwork or for your homework at the end of the day, okay? All right, that's all I have for you for session 1 today, all right? Don't go away. I will see all of you in session 2 in just a moment. Don't go away. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome back to session 2. Now for session 2, today we're going to be covering up session 2 in is blueprint 2, okay? So please make sure that you open your blueprint 2 textbook to page 57. Now, for today's class, we're going to look at grammar, simple present versus present continuous, and grammar practice, and we're also going to use the language as well on page 57. Now, before we go there, let's do a quick lesson review on what we've done so far. Do you remember what we've done so far in our blueprint 2? Yes, that's right. So in our blueprint 2 so far, we started lesson 5, extracurricular activities. We completed exercise A, B, C, and D. We also did some vocabulary checklist. We'll listen to track 32. And also we did, like I said before, we completed exercise A, B, C, and D, yeah? And we were talking, the text was talking about a horse racing club called what's it called? Wait, if I said it correctly. Wyoming State University Riding Club, right? So it's a horse riding club. It has 2 riding contests in 2 times a term, okay? And we've did all that, okay? Good. All right, so for today's class, we're going to be looking at on page 57. Now, let's start doing our grammar. So for grammar today, we're going to be looking at focusing on simple present versus present continuous. Now, you remember what is simple present and what is present continuous? Here the table that can distinguish the difference between the two. Now, we use a simple present for for example, I take the bus to school every day, okay? So it's used for routines, right? Routines means something that you do every day. So basically it's used for the facts that are generally true at all times, okay? And the students study, correct? Right, and we use present continuous for something current, something that's happening currently and temporarily, okay? And also, something happening now or currently or temporarily. So for example here, Harry is talking with his sociology teacher, okay? And also, I'm learning a lot this summer. So talking, he's still doing the talking. He's talking right now to his professor, okay? And also, I'm learning a lot this summer is something that currently happened, and it's for temporarily, all right? So I'm learning this a lot this summer. Now the stative verbs. What is the stative verbs? Do you know what is the stative verbs? Right, so what is a stative verb? Do you know? Okay, so some stative verbs can be used in the present continuous tense when they imply an action. So, for example, I'm having lunch with my friend, or I'm thinking of my mom now. So something that is used in the present continuous tense when it's applying action. So in the time that you are doing something else happened, okay? So while I'm having lunch, so I am having lunch with my friend, I'm thinking of my mom now. So something that happens, currently happened, or momentarily happened and happening right now. Okay, let's look at the table. Stative verbs. So many verbs do not describe an action. Examples include be and hate. Okay, these verbs are called stative verbs. We usually use stative verbs in the simple present tense, not in the present continuous. Okay, that's the rules. And the stative verbs also includes most verbs that discuss what you know, think, or feel. For example, I like this soup. Sometimes it refers to what you believe. So, for example, I don't believe you. Sometimes it also refers to what you see or hear. I see a snake, or I heard my mom screaming. What you own, I have a car, or just the ways of being. Okay, they don't discuss action, right? So stative verb does not discuss actions. It's more into discuss being, way of beings. Okay, so believe, see, have, right? So see, believe, have, and like, it's not an action, right? Okay? So today we're learning about simple present and present continuous. So we distinguish the difference between present continuous and simple present. We use simple present, use the facts that are generally true that are generally true at all times, and we use present continuous as something current and temporarily, or something happening now. Then we also did stative verbs. So some stative verbs can be used in the present continuous, but not always. Okay? Because they don't discuss actions, right? Okay, now, what does routine means? Routine. So routine, we did that so many times before. So routine is just basically it's the things that you actually do and the order you do them in, okay? So sometimes, for example, like remember last week I asked you to describe, to do a presentation about your daily routine? Yeah, that's called routine. So something that you normally do every day, at the same time, the same thing. Okay, so routine. Routine. Okay? Right, good. So this is the grammar part. Now let's move on to the next part. Grammar practice. Now today, let's have a look at the grammar practice. What you need to do, you need to fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the verbs. Okay, you know the verbs. Okay, so the words are in brackets. The verbs is in bracket. Okay, like, watch, study, sit, know, fit, believe, have, rain, work. So there are 10 sentences of questions, okay, that you need to fill in the verbs in the blank, okay, from the brackets into the blank. Now remember to use it correctly in the correct forms. Now let's do the first and the second together. We have number 1, like. Carlos playing soccer. Carlos playing soccer. What would be the correct form of verbs that we should put in the blank? Right, so Carlos likes playing soccer. Okay? Likes playing soccer. Number 2, watch. At the moment, a video lecture. At the moment, the video lecture. Oh, sorry. At the moment, I video lecture. Okay? At the moment, I video lecture. So what would you put as the correct form of the verbs? Okay, so at the moment, I am watching a video lecture. At the moment, I am watching the video lecture. Okay? So that would be the correct form of the verb to fill in the blanks. Okay? So the rest will be done for your homework or your classwork. So don't worry about doing it right now. Okay. Then we also have another section on use the language. Use the language. Now, how often? So this is a question, this is the question that people normally ask. So how often do you drink tea? How often do you take pass up to work? How often do you go out? Okay, so these are parts of question. Now, I know it says ask a partner these questions and mark his or her responses in the table. But I know that you don't have any partner, so you can do this with your sibling or your family at home who speaks English, okay? Now, let's have the first one. Let's read all the 6 one together. So the question is how often do you do the following? Put a check mark in the correct box. We have always, often, sometimes, never. Now, if you can't remember the percentage of it, you can go back to the previous pages, okay, that we've done this before. So, always, often, sometimes, never. Number 1, go home right after school. Go home right after school. Number 2, copy class notes from a classmate. Number 3, study outside with classmates. Number 4, eat lunch in a school cafeteria. Number 5, participate in a class discussion. Number 6, attend a club or team meeting. Okay? So, number 1, go home right after school. Do you always go home right after school, or often, or sometimes, or never? Number 2, copy class notes from the classmate. Always, often, sometimes, or never. So whichever one that you think best for you, with these 6 statements, you can tick the one that is best for you. Okay? This work is on page 57. If you don't have the textbook, you can just go back to the video and try copy this work from your book. From the video and into your notebook, and then you can do this as part of your homework or your classwork later. Alright, it seems like now we're coming to the end of our session. I'd like to thank everyone for participating in our online learning program. Reminder, please don't forget to do your homework and classwork and then send it to me via personal telegram once done. Goodbye all and have a great day. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.